Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another PGR reaction. Today I wanted to do something a little bit different and just kind of look through the comments and see which name popped out to me first. And Holy Moonlight kind of did that for me for whatever reason. I don't entirely know why. It's just the one that kind of seemed the most intriguing to dig into. So I picked that one instead of the one that had the most votes. There's plenty of songs in this comment section, but this is just the one that I'm like, you know what? Let's see what this one's about. So that's the one I'm getting to today. And I guess without further ado, let's go. Okay, we got organ right off the bat. Very intense instrument. With a very intense beat under it. Got a breakcore feeling buildup going on here. All right. Kind of giving off those like mid to late 2010s EDM feels. Ooh. Ooh, I love that. Oh. Oh, that is an amazing hook. It grabs me right away. Dude. Bops with the intensity. I want to go punch something, you know? I want to go fight. But I gotta make sure I'm cool while doing it. Very, very specific vibe there. The accent game in this song, off the charts. Those like subtle notes, like underneath. And here, this section again. Yeah. Love that so much. I'm just catching myself just super hype on this all the time. Like, I know where the song's going now. I've heard it once through. I'm aware. But I can't help myself from moving. It just has so many good little details about it. All right, yeah, quick fade out because that's just a loop. But man, that's sick, actually. So like I was excited about during the listening of this one, this just has a bunch of neat little accent things going on. That piano fall, too, like right at the end of that one movement, just, it feels like you're falling down. Like there is a spot where your character's going down in some way, shape, or form. It could be literal, it could be metaphorical, and then it has to come back up and kind of restart from where it was at the beginning. It's like a fall from grace put into music. It's really, really cool. cool. There's just enough like little dissonant clicks in there, like notes that just aren't really working together, that make it feel kind of like unfortunate when that fall happens. It doesn't sound beautiful all the way down. It definitely has some moments in there that kind of stumble, and that's a really cool musical thing to include. But I love those little breaks in that one like pre-chorus section. Just an insane hook for me. I don't know why I love that so much. It's probably just the sharing of the whole like, here's the main sound and then it has to like do this call and response thing, and I love that in a lot of music, and this is definitely no different. And I like that it takes its time. Like when it responds, it's like it's responding very clear and obvious to you instead of making things too complex or confusing. It's like a straight answer you get from somebody when you ask a really stupid or really complex question, and they're just like, here's the facts, and you're like, oh, now I get it. I haven't heard call and response in a song this well done in quite a while, and this just nails that. It really does. And I think the way it achieves that is purely by having that like really messy synth in there asking the question, and then when the response comes and it's much louder and it's more prominent in the mix, it's like a god looking down upon you while you're asking them a question of like, why are we here? And it's just like, you're here because. And they're just like, oh, okay, that makes sense, but I have another question. It does that a few times. It's just the sheer like power dynamic in that call and response is extremely, extremely strong. The confusion, that like fuzziness in that prior synth doing the call and the response being so prominent is an amazing pairing, and it just fucking works so well. And I kind of like how overall messy this mix is. It's not bad. Like, it's definitely not a bad, muddy, gross mix. It's still pretty clear, but with those different synths in there, the stuff that feels more fuzzy and less clear, it doesn't have as much prominence. It's just kind of acting as this like undertone to everything else. There's these subtle, like kind of more dubsteppy synths underneath things as well that just kind of pop in and out. Like all of that just kind of taking up its space and kind of acting like a mud on the floor, and then placing all the other synths on top of it that just feels so much more clean, but they're not like forgetting that the stuff underneath is there. Like the stuff on top and the stuff on bottom are working in perfect synergy to be able to make this song work. And usually when you have too much like noise in the mix and just too much stuff going on, that can be really hard to balance and keep those top ends really clear. And this song manages that extremely well. While I was listening to this and I kept hearing those like dubsteppy synths underneath, those like heavy growly bass ones that just kind of pop in during the pre-chorus, I'm like, oh, okay, so like that's what's happening here. Those are there, sure, but like I didn't expect them to be so clear with the rest of what's happening above it. It's just really a testament to whoever produced this song, the fact that they were able to balance those like different weights to bear them so evenly despite them being nowhere near each other in the frequency range. It works. That's just a common issue for a lot of electronic producers, especially when they mix stuff. They don't handle their lows and highs quite so efficiently. And whoever did this one, because I didn't see like a credit of who actually produced this song, whoever did this just nailed that balance. They really got it down, and it just sounds so good. Add that understanding with that call and response stuff I mentioned, it's just a perfect electronic track, really. Just the way it's balanced and the way that it feels like a true call and response, even down to the mix. That is insanely impressive. I guess this video is probably just a little bit more of me getting generally hyped over the production quality of this song, but I obviously, like I talked about, love some of the approaches that they did in the synths. Overall, it's still a great song, but that production value in this one, despite it not really being the cleanest mix I've ever heard, is irrelevant when you handle it just so beautifully well. This is one of those perfect cases of you do not need to be perfect to be able to create art. But I do think all of that yapping is about all I gotta say on this one, so thank you all so very much for watching. If you have any other songs from PGR you want me to get to, I actually want to hear more stuff from like the earlier days of PGR. Like I know a lot of the requests were from more recent stuff, and I'm actually just kind of interested in hearing the early days of PGR, the stuff I haven't really like listened to yet, the stuff maybe even before Vanguard was involved. I don't know how far back their history goes, but like I want to know more of like the early days of the music, and we can of course get to the other ones as well. But now that I know that this one's from a couple years ago and I didn't really know where they were musically until I listened to this one, now I really want to hear more of it. So if you have any ones from like the early days of PGR, request those. Of course, I'll be listening to other more recent stuff as well, but I'm just like really into this sound and hearing where they came from. So if you got those, drop them in the comments below and I will do my best as always to get to them. And of course, if you just like this video and you want to see me talk about more stuff in the future, you know how to follow me and support me and all that. And I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!